Good evening. This is Kronos Lank, your host and dungeon master. You just trampled that dog into nothingness. It's just a puddle of guts. Extra, extra, read all about it. Drive By DND solves world boredom. Extra, extra, read all about... Yeah, boy, stop that hollering and give me that paper. And a shiny dime for your trouble, too. Now get out of here. Right, now let's see here. Very good. Yes, quite so indeed. Very interesting. Oh, hello. Look, friend. It says right here that world boredom has finally been vanquished thanks to a determined, selfless group of real-life gentlemen who play and broadcast Dungeons & Dragons on a semi-regular, but not nearly enough basis. Hard to believe, right? Wrong. Introducing our reporters on the ground. Dr. Leatherballs as Iblis Volok.
You. I'm taking you.
Hamsquatch as Treeleaf Branchroot.
Alamandros, come here, check this out. I'm fucking sprouting. Seriously.
Doozy Boy as Alamandros Du Vost.
Sorry, I don't know if it's rude enough to talk about a man's horn.
Woo-wee! My heart just skips a beat when the headlines read Drive By D&D. In tonight's earth-shattering episode of Drive By D&D, our adventurers begin their epic journey to quell the giant uprisings that have stormed throughout the land, causing huge devastation of gigantic proportions. Upon receiving a distressing letter from a long-ago friend, Alamandros Du Vost, a wandering knight, sets out on the high road accompanied by his trusty steed, Soar, and his faithful squire, Pugly, towards the town of Nightstone to lend his mighty gauntlet to a massively dangerous situation. In what I like to call Episode 1, O Nightstone, Where Art Thou? It's like O Brother, Where Art Thou? Only better. Now, I don't mean to disappoint you, but to read more, this not-so-black and white story continues on page D12, underneath the Help Wanted ads, above the local weather forecast, and sandwiched right next to an opinion piece on how to make your shit squeeze out more softly. It's fiber. The answer is more fiber. And here is where this tale begins. Our tale begins with Alamandros, the knight, traveling along the high road. It's been days. As noon approaches, you spot a wooden signpost next to a trail that heads north into the hills. Nailed to the post are 3 arrow-shaped signs. Waterdeep and Daggerford follow the high road but point in opposite directions. The third is marked Nightstone. About a week ago, you received a letter that started you on your journey. It was a special letter that you received. There was actually like sort of an elven enchantment on it that when you read it, you actually hear the voice of the person reading it to you.
Dear my sweet fella, now I know it's been some time since we last spoke, and perhaps you don't even remember me. Such a long time's passed, so much has happened. But don't you worry, Cassie Goodheart never hold it against you. My name might have changed, but I'm still the same girl underneath. Promise you I am. Hey, you remember the day that selfish stuck-up girlfriend of yours broke your gentle heart? You asked me to keep you company that night. And do you remember that I did? Kept you company all night? Gave you all the company you could handle and more. Said it was the best company you ever had. Shucks, a gentleman like yourself probably says that sort of thing all the time to girls like me. Still, I'd like to believe you meant it. Oh, I do miss those carefree days, don't you? When the nights were longer and the sun was so bright our skin seemed to sparkle. That's why it pains me to write you under such poor circumstances. But I didn't know where else to turn. It all started about 2 months ago when the elves of our deep forest began attacking our beautiful community. My lord husband tried to reason with them, tried to stop them, but was shot dead in the fighting. That day, my playful perky bosom fell heavy with grief. Nonetheless, I took it upon myself to forge a truce with the elf leader, Rondero Home, which I'm ashamed to say I did by giving him company. Now, I ain't no diplomat, but I do fear that's not enough to maintain a long-lasting peace. Please understand, I take no pleasure in asking you what I'm about to ask you, but there Deep and Daggerford are deaf to my pleas for help. So will you help me? Will you come to Nightstone and help make peace with the elves? I just know you will. You're the strongest, bravest fella I ever knew. And above all, I know you got a giant heart. Your friend, Cassie Goodheart, Lady Nander of Nightstone.
So you come back from that memory. You know roughly that Nightstone from the signpost is about 10 miles away.
Pugly, what does that signpost say up there? I can't see that far. Oh, I can. It says Nightstone's down that way. Pugly, off we go.
You're traveling along, heading towards Nightstone, when you happen upon a shadowy figure in the distance. Looks strange to you from where you are. I mean, he's walking right towards you.
A figure in the road, Pugly. Do you see this? Good sir.
Yeah, I just kind of keep my head down and just kind of pretend like he's not talking to me.
You know, Pugly and I moved to the side of the road. And fair travels to you.
He looks up and he's like, "Oh, you're talking to me. Sorry. People don't usually talk to me."
Oh, I just say good day, sir. Pugly, say good day. Good day, sir.
Good day to you fellows as well. It's a fine day, it appears, I guess.
I was looking up earlier. The sun was shining. It was grand outside. Where are you heading, traveling?
Wherever I need to be. How about yourselves?
Oh, we're heading south, I believe. Pugly, are we heading south? Of course, sir. Yeah, of course we are.
And what takes you south?
Oh, an old dear friend needs some trouble, or needs some help. There is some trouble with some elves.
Elves, you say?
Yeah, they've been apparently attacking them. She was wondering if we could talk them out of it, stab them out of it, whatever it needs to be. Pugly laughs.
Sounds like quite the perilous adventure. You must be quite a powerful figure, I guess, to be summoned so.
Oh, not summoned so, just a friend, doing favors. I don't know what's in it for anybody.
It's good to have friends, and conflict is never a good thing to hear about in these hopefully peaceful times. You mind if I tag along with you, and I could possibly be of service? I'm known to hold a sword or two, or, well, actually just my stick, but I can swing it fairly well.
Did you hear? Someone wants to come with us to help us. Yes, we could use all the help we could get.
Well, that sounds excellent. My name is Ilbis Volok. It's a pleasure to meet you. It's a pleasure to meet two humans who are so accepting, very progressive of you in these days.
Well, your horns are quite a sight. Look at the way they shape from your head. I've never seen anything. So I'm sorry, I don't know if it's rude enough to talk about a man's horns.
Oh, no, I'm used to... I'm not usually the one bringing it up, actually. That's what I meant. I appreciate your discretion and acceptance here. Yeah, I'm just shocked, really.
Well, finally, it's nice to meet somebody so eloquent out in the woods these days. And he starts jammering on about, like, how hard it is to meet people who can carry a conversation anymore as they continue on down southernly towards...
Nightstone. Yeah, so you're off to go to Nightstone. So you guys, the newly joined friends, continue down the path. You know, a strange thing happens then.
You guys are riding along, I guess. A butterfly just comes out of the woods and it's just like floating across the road, and pretty nice. Like you maybe even notice it, but then as soon as you do, your horse just fucking stomps on it as it's walking on by. Crushes the thing. Out of the woods runs. He's got hide just patched on and like willow sticks just fucking wrapped around his core, and he just runs out. He looks at you guys, looks at the little butterfly. My buddy, you killed my friend.
I'm sorry, we've done nothing of the sort.
He points under the hoof.
The butterfly?
Man, he's like all I had left.
Well, we didn't mean to hurt your friend. So, you old bag.
Maybe you should have been more careful if he was all you had left.
He was hard to keep in control. He just kind of went wherever he wanted. I know your horse meant no harm. What are you guys doing in these parts?
We're traveling south.
Towards Nightstone.
Yes. Called my dear friend, Cassie Goodberger.
Yeah, there's some serious shit going on down there.
Apparently. So I hear from my new friend here.
Alamandros by name. Oh, apologies. Once again, Pugly reprimand me when I forget to talk to the people I meet. Jesus, it's all going astray. Alamandros. And this is my dear friend Pugly, and my newly found friend, Iblis.
Iblis.
Always.
Iblis.
Okay, it's a foreign name.
Well, mine rolls off the tongue. Is it? Alamandros.
You didn't ask, but I don't really know where it came from. Only that I just always lived in these woods. I've been raised by the woods themselves, the rocks, the wind. In fact, he looks over. Dad! Picks up this little pebble. Oh wait, this isn't my dad. But man, isn't this pebble round? Oh, my name.
Fascinating person.
My name. Let's see, as I hear it, my name is but you can just call me Tree Root Branch Leaf. If that's too long, I gave myself that name. Maybe someday someone else will give me a name. Names are so weird, you know? Anyways, what was I saying? My name, it's Root Tree Leaf Branch, or Tree Root Branch Leaf. I gave myself that name.
Pleased to meet you. Pleased to meet you. Tree Root Branch Leaf. We will find a better name for you. I believe it's going to happen. You must be what they call a druid.
I don't even know what I am, man. The wind whisks me to the Fae and back sometimes. I've learned some stuff from the elves. I guess that's what people call me in these parts. They don't really like talking to people. But maybe you guys could help me. The elves in these woods have been rampaging, murdering. They're out of control. I think I need to stop them.
Oh, we are just on the way to do just that.
Really?
Oh, we're heading south to see my good friend Cassidy. They've been having a problem with the elves down that way. In Nightstone.
Maybe I can just like walk behind you guys and like follow you in then.
Go walk beside us, my good man. We're all equals here. Maybe not
Oh my
Pugly.
God.
I'm just kidding, Pugly.
You're my first real friends.
What about your butterfly friend?
Oh.
He's a butterfly. Come on.
My first non-animal friend. I've never really met anyone in these parts. It's kind
Please do mention. Would you like to ride a horse? And he offers his hand out to pull you up behind him, or you're into that kind of thing.
ride a beast. I don't know, man.
Oh, a twat.
If he's okay with it,
What's a she, my good boy?
No.
Figure.
I guess I should have been able to see that. You know, he grabs your hand, throw him up on the horse.
You're all heading towards this town, Nightstone. Everyone make a history check.
I'm not from these parts. I don't know much at all around here. I'm new to the area, but I'd love to learn.
13.
So, you did some research about Nightstone before you came. So, you're proficient.
Yeah, I shagged Cassie Goodhart here. She and I had a wonderful night. I didn't know she thought so highly of me. Have you heard?
So after following the trail for 10 miles, you hear the ringing of a bell. The sound grows louder as Nightstone comes into view. A river flows around the settlement, forming a moat. The village itself is contained within a wooden palisade, beyond which you see a windmill, a tall steeple, and the high-pitched rooftops of several other buildings. Apart from the ringing of the bell, you detect no other activity in the village. The trail ends before a lower drawbridge. 2 stone watchtowers flank an open gate in the palisade. South of the village and surrounded by the river moat is a cone-shaped, flat-topped hill on which stands a stone keep enclosed by a wooden wall. The keep, which overlooks the village, has partially collapsed. A wooden bridge that once connected the keep to the village has also partially collapsed.
Alamandros automatically would. I'm trying to remember what the constant ringing of the bell meant. Pugly, they're definitely not telling the time with that bell.
Right, I'd say your assessment is correct.
Possibly a warning bell.
Well, Pugly, I don't like the look of this stall. And new friends in this tree guy. If you don't mind holding up a moment, I'd like to put on some armor just in case something gets strange.
Yeah. I'm freaking out right now. This place is big.
And it's on high alert too. You must not be liking that noise.
I feel like there's a tension in the air, I must say. Do you see any, like, smoke or anything rising from the town?
Make a perception check.
3.
So you can't see anything other than the bell. Dong dong.
Really bright out here.
From your distance from the town, you can't tell, but you do see sort of a lower drawbridge, and that's it.
Pugly and Alamandros are strapping on the REC. It's like pretty dinged up, scratched, fucking. The breastplate, whole part of it is just totally scraped away. Whatever image used to be on there is gone.
Well, you wrestle with that. Maybe I'll scout ahead a little bit here and see what's going on.
He's like
I'll
jumping
start
on one foot.
crossing the drawbridge cautiously.
You guys-
He's keeping an eye on the.
Are you guys
Two
like right here at the
watchtowers.
gate, or just him?
I feel like we're at the gate and he went in.
Yeah, like I'm crossing
Yeah.
the drawbridge because I figure while you're getting dressed, I'm gonna at least scout ahead a little bit.
Okay. So you guys are just not on the drawbridge, basically. Just
Are we on the drawbridge? No,
We're
I
just
think we're
pretty
just
far
in
in
front of
front.
us.
Yeah,
In front of the
before.
drawbridge. We found a nice tree to just like pull over
Right.
underneath.
Alamandros totally leaning on it.
Iblis As you're sort of approaching the drawbridge area, you do see that there's tracks in the sand. One seems to be kind of going off northwards, one seems to be kind of going in. There's a mess of foot tracks.
Do they look like shoe tracks, or do they look like
So,
hooves and shit?
your wisdom survival check.
So straight up roll 16.
So you can tell that there seems to be two distinct pathways of human footsteps going up north and goblin footprints and something that looks like wolf tracks heading into Nightstone.
Those kind of takes a knee a little bit, and while he's examining these tracks and soaking it in, he looks ahead towards the towers to try and see if he sees anybody mulling around. If not, then he's gonna walk back to the group. It's a good thing you're putting your armor on. I don't know if old Pugly here has any armor either, but it appears there might be goblins and wolves. Possibly dire wolves, I don't know, but it appears they may be in the city.
Goblins and wolves, he said. We've got to go in and find if Cassie's still alive. Pugly, hurry!
You're still getting your shit on?
Yeah, it takes like 10 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Fucking...
Iblis, you have horns.
You're very observant, branch boy.
I think they're pretty cool.
Thank you.
Never seen anything like it.
I am not from around here. These definitely are foreign parts to me. You are a bit unique yourself, I must say. I've not come across one such as you. But either way, that's part of the adventure, right?
The bell is just donging in the background. Dong, 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 dong.
And I feel it. We got it cinched up back there. Okay, alright. He's like puts on his helmet, mounts sore, grabs his hand, and he looks up at his lance and he's just, oh, it's totally right. Pugly, flag, would you? Something of color. Blue. Pugly pulls out like a blue shirt. Alright, follow me. Try to look like you belong.
Are you riding your horse?
Yeah, and it's like totally arm up like banner thing, and he's just like riding in like a knight, like he's about to take charge. Pugly, by the way, is back with the mule.
Am I still on the horse? I guess behind you?
I guess so.
I guess so, right?
Iblis is walking behind the rear flank of the horse. He's trying to strategically use it as cover as you guys are riding along, so he's just kind of hiding up, trying to angle himself with the horse.
As we're riding in, I lean over. Alamandros, I've only ever hunted before. And he's just got his little spear and shield.
Well, my dear boy, if something should happen, don't worry, stay by my side and things will be fine. Can you make a fist? You know, he's got this big gauntlet and fucking... Try punching them if they get too close. Goblins are usually small, it should be fine. Look at this big pointy lance I've got. It's been tied to the mule, it's sticking out on either side.
Nice. I love that.
Walking into sort of like the main town square in front of you, even through the donging of the bell, sort of the growling, snarling of these two beasts, these wolf-like beasts. They're ripping apart this dog. From where you are, they'd normally hear you, but because of the bell sounding, their senses are dulled, so they're not aware of you. You also see this giant bag in sort of the central area.
Alright. And these things, they look to be, are they the size of a wolf?
So make a nature check.
What's that? What are these furry creatures?
Yeah, they're dog-like, obviously evil-looking. Their fur looks almost spiked black. It's a big bag. You guys would know that it's possibly something a giant would carry. They're just shredding this dog apart.
Tree grass. I'm most decidedly going to charge these beasts. I'm not sure what they're doing, but they don't look like they're here. Maybe I'll scare them away. If you'd like to accompany me, you are very welcome to do so. But if you'd like to get off now... And he starts lowering his lance.
Should I hold on to you? He grabs onto the back of your arm plating.
Along for the ride, dear. It's the best one you'll have today. And he prepares to charge.
Iblis looks out, he's like, be sure of your choice, boy. These are no normal wolves.
I'll give you a surprise attack here, though.
So yeah, he's gonna zing on in there.
As you're charging, even though he's pretty nervous, but he uses that nervous energy to cast a spell that helps him hunt. All those willow branches that are along his chest tighten a bit around his chest and extend out down both arms and kind of wrap around his arm and shield and then wrap around his spear. So it's almost got all these like, sharp vines on it. Just allows him to use his spell attack instead of his strength or dexterity.
Alamandros, yeah, he lowers his lance and they charge at it. It's not the fastest charge you've ever seen. Like, sword is, you know, an old nag and it's got two riders on it. So he's got his lance lowered and he zings on in there. Yeah, that's not it. Alright, and then he wheels on the fuck out of there again.
You broke them up. It's almost like you went right through them. You broke them up. You just trampled that dog into nothingness. It's just a puddle of guts.
The dog they were chewing on.
Oh.
They were chewing on this dog, yeah. But you just let those hooves clippity clop, clippity clop. Wolves back off, but they turn and notice you guys, and they're getting ready to charge. But Iblis?
Yeah, Iblis is standing there with his quarterstaff. Oh yeah, seen that you missed, and he curses under his breath in infernal. It's just like, fuck. And he drops his palm to the side, like the one that's not holding the quarterstaff. You just see some purplish lightning start to build, and then just launches out, and he casts Eldritch Blast. 18 plus 6. 6. He standing there holding the quarterstaff is like kind of like a walking stick, and just drops his hand almost casually and just shoots out this blast of purplish lightning that snakes around, and as the horse is riding back towards Iblis, the lightning almost like forks around the horse, smokes one of the wolves.
Who did that? Who did what just happened?
The beast didn't like that last Eldritch Blast, and they just come roaring in. They're snarling, they've got this black, liquidy saliva just oozing from their jaws, and they leap at Alamandros. 20.
That's a hit.
And
Jesus.
tree leaf. 18. Their jaws latch in. They found a weak spot in the armor. You're taking 9, 10, 11, 12 damage.
Yeah, I'm down to 1 hit point, you understand. It's the end of the game already.
So, fights in, gets a good hard mean chunk of thigh. It's
Hopefully that's enough.
trying to drag you, but you're holding on your mighty steed with an iron clench. So the other one, though, it wants to take the tree branch's legs.
Tree branches legs.
7 plus 3, 10 damage.
You sit there and go, oh no. And he's dead.
Okay.
Still on the horse?
I don't know. Well, because he can't do a
I
strength
feel like
check,
the Warren
so
would, yeah.
just
You
rips
fail
him
the strength
off.
test, he rips
Just
it,
fucking-
rips him down to the ground.
Just like ripping his head back and forth.
It's preoccupied with its kill. So your turn, death saving throw.
Yeah. 7. Yeah, so the wolf has him in his grasp and is just whipping its head back and forth, and my head's just slamming on the ground each time. Every time, like a little bit of life just seems to be fading from his body.
Alright, well, Alamandros disengages. Good fucking god, son! You trying to stay in the saddle and fucking thing grabbed, tree nuts, and he's like, holy shit. So he just tears ass off back to,
Bliss?
As you're riding by, Iblis yells at you guys like, "Go!"
He's zinging back, and he like rears his horse around as if like he's coming back in for another charge. And he heals for 10.
Iblis.
So where I'm standing here, I'm kind of exposed, and that's the church to my left.
Yes, that's the temple.
Iblis
Yeah.
right now he's just feeling exposed, so he's looking around immediately and just trying to be like, all right, which one of these fucking places can I quickly run into? Yeah. What about the towers behind him? Can you see a door behind him?
Yeah, there's doors.
He is gonna book it to the tower behind him. Runs up towards the door to the tower. As he's just opening the door and kind of pushing his way through, he's not gonna dash, but he's gonna move through next turn. He just turns back and he points at the wolf that he hit with Eldritch Blast. He starts swearing in infernal. Fucking goddamn wolves! And points at it and casts Hellish Rebuke on it.
+1. Crit fail.
Let's see what the 8. As he points back and casts Hellish Rebuke, as he's swearing at him infernal, the one wolf just all around its feet, it just bursts into flames, and these flames just come shooting out all around it.
So yeah, that flame hits it. Its paws are like singed and burned. So even though their black hair looks like razor edges, it is just fur. And it's just growling though. And it's gonna come lunging towards the person who just shot. It's just dashing up the stairs behind you, running on all fours, growling. It's slobbering black saliva is like splattering on your shoes. It's just hungry for your blood, but can't attack. This one I'm saying is distracted by the body of Tree Root. He's sniffing it around. He's like investigating what he's got here, but it's Tree Root's death save.
Another fail.
Yeah,
The wolf's pacing around, sniffing, and then it just goes in for a bite, and you can hear an audible like cracking of bones.
So is that one actually within 5 feet of me?
Yeah, I feel like on your steed and everything, you probably get an opportunity attack.
As it went running by.
Yeah,
Oh, nice.
You gotta roll a hit.
20, 17.
that hits.
take damage to it as it runs by. Here, yeah. Ah.
Yeah, you stab and fucked up his hind legs, and it actually falls on the stairs and is growling up towards Iblis, slobbering.
Kill it, Iblis. Kill it. I've got to go stop this thing from eating Tree Face's face. And he just charges off. It looks a lot better with this. There's one rider this time. Sore is not the greatest fucking nag there ever was. Yeah,
Okay.
charges in, trying to save poor tree guy. So he comes in at the 10 feet mark and he tries to spear the goddamn thing with the lance.
Oh, man.
13. Then he uses the rest of his
13 damage?
Yeah.
Hit him hard, it busts back and falls over on its side prone. Still alive.
And then he finishes off his movement by like expertly fucking dismounting on the horse and fucking lance goes clattering to the ground as he pulls out sword and board and approaches.
Inspiration!
Oh yeah, that's right.
And the wolf's prone, just like looking up at you, a little stunned.
You foul creature, leave him alone!
Iblis was scrambling for the door, right, to try and get it open, and he shot back that hellish rebuke, and the wolf booked it up towards him. And as Iblis is scrambling for the door, he notices out of the corner of his eye, Alamandros had fucking winged the wolf, and that it's actually like back legs are fucked up, right, and it's like scrambling just with its front legs, and so Iblis, instead of fucking with the door, just quickly just does this little spinning move, swings his fucking quarter staff around, and just gonna club the thing right in the face.
With advantage.
So 18 plus 6
Yeah.
to
Oh.
so 9.
Well, how do you kill this thing?
He's scrambling for the door. The dog comes fucking booking up the stairs behind him. Iblis just out of the corner of his eye sees that Alamandros fucking takes its back legs out and it's just kind of scrambling up, snapping at him. And so he just immediately stops with the door, swings this thing around and just smashes it right in the jaw. And I just kind of picture he just took the whole bottom jaw out. The thing just drops. At that point, he doesn't move anywhere yet, but he turns to try and survey what's going on back the tree root.
Yeah, you see this warg standing up as Alamandros is stalking towards him, just ready to like chop its head off. It still gets back on its forelegs and lunges right for Alamandros. Its jaws chomping, its black saliva gushing from between the teeth, and it fucking...
What?
Crit one.
Oh.
Falls, just trips, and its face just hits the dirt, slides right in before Alamandros, who just stops and stares down at this pitiful beast.
This is the one. Dies if he misses it.
Roll it.
16.
Oh my god. Oh.
His eyes open just the slightest.
Oh, wow.
I feel like if you can see his vision, you can barely see anything. You can just hear like snarling of the beast that just dove into the ground. Barely make out Alamandros and his shield and sword.
Hold on, tree guy. We're coming. We are coming for you. And he rolls a 7, uses his inspiration, swings downwards, just unsheathing as it slides up to him. Just, it's not even sufficiently angry. It's just a strike that goes through the neck.
And yeah, he dies.
Iblis is going to be walking over to where they are to go see how old Branch Foot's doing.
He's just on the ground in a heap still, just barely conscious.
We should find your slave and take cover somewhere.
It's not a slave. It's like a squire. Squire.
It's alright, I'm not used to the language around here.
Understood.
Potato, potato.
Our eyes peeled. I don't know what else is around. We need to find shelter. I need to tend to these wounds.
Yeah, exactly. Let's get good old Mossy Kid here into his temple. You go get Podrick or whatever his name is, and
Yes.
I'm gonna start helping Tree Root into the temple.
So this wooden temple is dedicated to Lathander, god of the dawn, and Mylike, goddess of forests. It has a slender steeple containing a large bronze bell, and stained glass windows depicting images of birth, the dawning sun, trees, and unicorns. Sunlight and moonlight pours into a high vaulted chamber through 4 stained glass windows set into the north and south walls. Beneath the windows are plain wooden benches for the elderly or infirm to sit on. The room is mostly empty otherwise. Standing against the back wall is a wooden pulpit with steps leading up to it. The floor of the temple is composed of dirt. Set into the west wall north of the pulpit is a half-open door.
Iblis is gonna help Treefoot over to a bench. Should rest a little here. I'll go make sure there's nothing scary behind that door.
Dude, I almost died.
Yeah, almost is the
got a piece
key.
of you,
Almost
boy.
is the key phrase, though. Almost is the key phrase.
It's as if he's not even necessarily thinking about it or controlling it, but those like willow branches that are wrapped around him start kind of glowing a green glow. It almost seems to be seeping into his skin. You guys can see that he's noticeably seeming like healed. This guy casts Cure Wounds.
Iblis is going to check out the door at the back just to make sure there's nothing hiding back there or anything.
As you're approaching that open door, you can tell that this is sort of where the bell sound is increasing in volume. Make a stealth check. You're like looking through the door here with advantage because of the bell.
19.
You look through the door. You see two misshapen goblins. Their skin is dark green. One is just like ringing on this bell, and the other sort of just watching, looking around the room, waiting with arms crossed up against the wall. They're both wearing scimitars, eyes glowing red. These look like the evilest creatures you've ever seen. Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong.
Iblis is gonna cautiously back away from the door, like quietly scurry back to where these guys are chilling out in the temple, like on the bench or whatever. Be like, man, we got hostiles in here. They appear to be goblins or ghouls of some type, but they look fierce. This might not be the best place to stay.
Well, they were the ones ringing the bell. It sounds as if they're distracted. I think we can get the jump on them, don't you?
Good, but I'm worried about our young friend here. He just seemed in rough shape.
He's fully healed now.
Oh yeah,
He
you're
looks,
fully healed.
yeah, as if he'd never been mauled.
It was taken aback a little bit. I'm like, yeah, all right, well, never mind. Yeah, if we're quiet, we can probably get the jump on them. One was ringing a bell, the other was kind of supervising.
Well, you have to go first. I'm not quite so sneaky in this giant armor of mine. And I charge in and run them through.
I think I might hang back this time, but maybe you can show me how to use this. He holds up his spear next time for resting or something, you know?
Well, you know the parts that you don't want to get hit in with a sharp pointy stick? Hit them on those parts.
Oh, okay.
In the soft squishy bits.
I'll try that.
And don't stop until they stop moving.
Okay, I think I got a handle on that.
These are obviously unnatural creatures. Up to no good.
So yeah, if you want, I'll charge in, distract them to give you the chance to then charge in. I'm talking to Alamandros.
Absolutely.
If everyone's ready, let's do this. And just before charge in, he's gonna cast Blade Ward on himself. He's standing kind of with his back to the door. He's got his staff in his one hand and like doing a Catholic cross, you know, I like shoulder his face, except he does it upside down. And then when he does that, that's him casting Blade Ward on himself. Right after he does that, he turns and quietly opens the door and sprint for the one that's not ringing the bell.
You burst into the room, both their heads snap and the red eyes staring back at you. You see the guy who's kind of standing there calmly look back a bit, but he almost gives a smile to his buddy, and they both smile at each other, these big, bare, trapped teeth, and they look back at you, but you do get a surprise attack.
As I'm running up to the one that was supervising or whatever, Iblis points at him as he's running in, and he's like, "You, I'm taking you." He casts his Hexblade's curse. He casts that curse on the guy as a bonus action as he's running up, and then as he does, he takes his quarterstaff and just goes to swing and just club the guy right in the face. 18 to hit. Since this guy's got my curse on him, I get to add my proficiency to the damage as well. 12. So he just runs up and just smashes the guy in the face with his quarterstaff.
It did take him off guard, and they were kind of smiling for a bit, but then, boom, you wipe the smile right off his face, and this black glob of goo splats onto the floor. Looking back at you with red eyes, though, the smile sort of returns, and he just gets out a scimitar and this little dagger. His buddy is stepped back startled, though.
Alright, well then in that case, when he runs up, smash him in the face, like kind of laterally across the jaw, and then he just falls through him with like an uppercut with the stick to try and catch him under the chin. 22. 10.
So how do you kill him?
Yeah, basically he came across like sideways and cracked him in the chin the first time, and then rather than coming around, he just full on just 360s, and as he comes around 360, just hits him again right in the face, but this time you see the guy's face cave in. Like, clearly that crushed his brain. Like, doesn't take his head off, but like it definitely caved in like 3/4 of it. Crack.
Yeah.
And just drops.
Black ooze just starts bubbling out of the wound. All over the floor, it's spilling out.
When the goblin drops, you just kind of see this necrotic green haze.
The other goblin looks at you and just says, "Ugh, and he thought my plan was stupid, but here you are. Now you're gonna pay the price." Just swings at you with a scimitar. 6 slashing damage.
Now I've
Slices.
blade ward. So I've got resistance to slashing damage.
Oh, okay. Shit, so half that. So yeah, that sword, I guess, just kind of glances off some barrier. He gets up close and you can see that he's got this little rat bone wedged between his nose.
It's like before when the vines like covered his weapon. This time the same thing starts to happen. The willow branches start moving all the way up his arm, all the way down the spear, but then this long coil of thorns gathers at the top of the spear. And so rather than run in, he just fucking whips his spear almost like a whip, and the coil of thorns unravels and snaps at the goblin. He casts Thorn Whip. One, and because he's a smaller creature, so we're like 30 feet away, I would say. That's its range, 30 feet. But as it hits him, the thorns, it comes in thorns side down, and they all grip into his skin, and as he pulls it back, the goblin falls forward 10 feet.
Well, opportunity attack for sure, I think. It's clawing at the vines, and you can see the black blood pouring over his fingers.
Iblis is gonna swing his quarterstaff at it. 9. As you do the thorn whip and it like wraps around him and yanks him forward, Iblis just happens to. It's kind of like all about the acrobatic-y kind of quarterstaff stuff. So he smashed that one dude and basically killed him. And then just as he turns around and that guy's getting yanked, the guy's getting yanked one direction and Iblis swings in the opposite direction to basically clothesline him as he's getting pulled with the thorn whip, and it just cracks him right in the face. Guy flies like feet in the air, ass over tea kettle, and just like lands on the ground.
Drops dead head, cracks skull, and then it's like silent. You really feel the bell sound disappear, and you're just in this sort of back room with these dead goblins.
I don't know if you guys could hear it, but that one goblin made a comment that we might need to get out of here. It sounded like they were expecting us. I've got a feeling that was actually the everything's okay alarm.
Smart. I run over to the goblin's body, or like near where they spit that black goo. I was like, man, what's with all this black goo that's coming out of their mouth? Is this goblin blood?
Make a nature check.
Yeah, 20.
You know that these type of goblins are feral goblins, and their blood is just naturally black.
Yeah, it's blood.
Well, it did come out of the wound.
I've never seen anything like that before. It's not supposed to be red.
We have to find Cassie. We can't leave.
Do you know where she lives?
Well,
Or
of
do we
course
just
I know
need to
where
go
she
house
lives.
by house? How far from here then?
Oh, she's right over there, and he points to wherever Cassie lives when they met up to shave.
As you're walking by, this is Nander Keep. That's where the nobility sort of rests in the town. You did see that the bridge between sort of the town section and the keep that's on top of the motte there been busted. You survey the land. Maybe you're peering through the temple
We're definitely looking
windows,
at
and
some
you
windows.
see these large boulders just scattered around. You see some rooftops busted in, houses like completely destroyed. And again, sort of in that middle section of that town square, there's sort of a huge bag, almost like this huge hole now that you have time to kind of really look. But yeah, you would know that that's where she'd probably be.
In the, like, this is like a bell tower kind of thing, right? Like the bell
Yeah.
is suspended way
Yeah.
above. Is there any kind of ladder or platform or anything to get up towards where the bell is?
So there is a ladder, leads up to the top. If you look up, it seems like this is a very basic type of temple. There's not much that you can see of value.
Iblis is gonna climb the ladder and wants to kind of basically try and get a lay of the land himself, since he's not from here and he doesn't have the map that Alamandros does. So
Yeah, make a perception check.
19.
You kind of survey the ground, and it does feel pretty quiet now that the bell's gone, but you do notice, like you catch almost, I don't even know how your eyesight saw it, but there's sort of another goblin, like rummaging through this field, like this farmer's field behind the house that you see. So you're getting the sense that maybe they're kind of throughout this place, like.
It's my internal concern was just that as we're kind of collecting ourselves here, is just kind of keeping an eye out to see if he sees anybody
Right.
rushing towards
You-
the church or anything.
You feel like you're spying on that goblin.
Yeah,
Like he
okay.
seems pretty oblivious.
So yeah, I guess once he finds out there's nothing really going on, he's gonna climb back down the ladder. Just be like,
Yeah.
well, it doesn't look like there's anything coming at us immediately here.
Should we build a trap, fellas? Take a breather, catch our wind, look out these windows.
Build a trap?
Well, there's all these pews in here. This is the church. I imagine we could dump. Maybe there's some casters of oil around or something.
Yeah, in the back room, there's a plain wooden bed. The mattress has been torn open, the straws pulled out, the floor is strewn with the contents of 2 wooden chests, priestly vestments, and worthless personal effects.
Iblis wants to kind of rummage through one of the chests. Hey, Leaf guy, keep an eye out for any wine. I hear churches have the best stuff.
I don't know what wine is, but
It's like,
is it in a bottle?
you know, grapes. It's fermented grapes. Grapes that have been on the ground for a while. I don't know about you, but stay away from any water you find in here, too.
I didn't know other
Are you
people
speaking
ate
of a
rotten
drink?
grapes.
Oh, I love a good drink.
You'd be surprised. Rotten grapes are delicious, if done correctly. I'll show you.
That would be interesting.
Keep an eye out
to
for a
try
bottle.
Your rotten drink beverage. Rotten grape drink.
All natural. You'll like it.
Yeah, so he's just walking around looking, also searching around, looking at under the mattress. He's looking into the, if there's a desk at all, he's looking through that. You know, he's looking through the chest there.
Yeah, you're kind of rifling through the different chests. It is just priestly vestments. You're not finding anything of interest, but you do see sort of these goblins have these sacks on them. Like, it looks like they were looting. The first guy, and you find on him 3 blocks of incense, a silver holy symbol of Myliki, shaped like a unicorn's head.
So True takes the incense, puts it right up to his face, and just takes a huge deep breath.
Side note, I did that once as a kid.
Good. And I keep this.
No wine, man. We'll have to keep an eye out. So, are we thinking of a rest in here for a little bit? You seemed like you took a decent punch there in that fight with the wolves.
Oh, a short rest would do me fine. But just use a little, put the legs up, but, you know, keep an eye on these windows, of course. I definitely think you might have been right about the bell.
Well, maybe your slave could keep ringing it while we rest.
It's a squire.
Right, Squire.
Where is Pugly? He usually comes by once the commotion is ended.
While we're just hanging out back here, if we're gonna chill here, we might as well secure the room a little bit. Iblis is gonna walk to the door. He's gonna close it. I don't know if there's a lock on the door or not.
No.
Because then he basically is.
It was an open church. It's open to all people.
Well, then he's got in his backpack or whatever, you know, like pittons or whatever for rock climbing.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna try and use one of those, or 2 or 3. He's got 9 of them, I think. He's gonna try and use that to just kind of jam the door, or like hammer them into the frame to block it from opening or something, you know.
Sure.
Kind of make like a makeshift lock or jam on the door.
Sure.
Tree is just sitting in a bench. He looks overexcitedly at Alamandros and he says, Alamandros, come here, check this out. I'm fucking sprouting. Seriously, and he points at his willow branches. You can see that there's like 10 little spots where 2 little leaves are growing, and a little berry is forming. These are my gooseberries. You want some? They'll make you feel better at some point if you need them.
You broke berries on your body.
Yeah, I can't really control them, but when I sprout, and you can take these and you can eat them.
I mean, out of politeness, Alamandros takes them.
Hey, you can't have all of them. I really like how they taste.
What? So whatever you're given, I'll take.
Iblis, just in total open-minded kind of sense, just walks out. He's like, man, you guys got some weird customs. And he plucks one off like your nipple or something, wherever they're coming from, and just chops it down.
So as soon as you chomp it down, it gives you 1 hit point.
Oh, nice.
Inspiration.
Like, yeah, that's not
So I
bad.
figure like he'll give maybe 4, 3, and then keep 2 for himself.
I mean, and Alamandros was like, you said there were like windows on this thing, like
Stained glass windows.
Stained glass. And he's kind of looking out the door for, you know, Solar, see where she is. Getting dismounted, she's kind of wandering around.
We'll do a little investigate. Like you're just.
He assumes she's still around the corner where he left her. But
Okay, well,
no,
let's see.
6.
So yeah,
7 plus -1.
you look out the door and she's not where you left her. Can't see her.
I'm not feeling good about Solar, fellas. I'm sure Pugly's on his way.
Maybe he took her under the tree so she could munch some grass.
I'm sure she could use it. She usually doesn't get run so hard.
Was an old horse. Could be dead.
I would hope not.
No.
I saw what you guys did back there. It was amazing, by the way. Alamandros is like, you know, standing near the window, you're just kind of looking out.
You're peering at the stained glass windows. You can kind of see these multicolored images of these hideous goblins just snarling and gobbling with each other, like moving back and forth, moving between buildings. I mean, from what you can see, pillaging, 100% the scene that you're seeing. You're looking at a moment where you don't see anyone there. But throughout the hour, you've noticed, like, just here and there, red eyes just like glaring. Glaring? Glaring.
Glaring and
Glaring.
Glaring? Hidden, glaring, glearing.
Yeah, that's perfect.
All right, so from now on, they're glaring at you.
Yeah,
Because
sure.
they're excited to like
Yeah.
what they're looking for, but they're
Yeah.
also wary.
Seem possessed.
Their dark green skin is like stringy,
Yeah,
strong toned, you know? Stringy, strong toned. You can tell they're just like ravenous. Like,
Iblis turns to Alamandros. He's like, "So, good Sir Knight, what's on the docket now? This is kind of your ballpark. Do we go find your horse or your lady? Which do you prefer to ride more?"
I did not know you had such a sense of humor. This is fantastic company we've met on the road out of nowhere. Well,
that might be
good
different.
Tiefling. I feel that we should wait till a sizable amount comes by us on the next pillaging and stab them through the door, make our way, and stab them some more. I don't think there's much else we can do with these types.
Ambush. I like the sounds of an ambush. It's always better to be giving an ambush than receiving an ambush, I say.
I just feel it's been an hour and nobody's come to inspect by the bells. They probably just think their mates are sleeping. Goblins are notoriously lazy.
Good point.
And shall we wait?
you do see he came down the street and turned right, comes crawling out beneath the staircase, and he looks like he's walking towards the stairs to go into what you can tell is a tavern.
Well, I say we need to move. We can't wait for them to come to us. Don't we have
Agreed.
to rescue your lady or your horse? I'm still unclear on which one we're going for.
I thought more would come by. They haven't appeared. I agree. On we go. This starts clanking his way out the door. Well, wait till he's going up the stairs. We'll murder him easily in the back. Sorry to say it that way, fellas.
Okay.
And then we'll see what's in the tower.
After you, good Sir Knight.
Somebody mentioned a drinker.
I'm gonna stand beside you. You seem tough.
It's mostly the armor.
You're charging in.
Yeah, he just
So-
starts clanking at him. Clank, clank, clank.
It turns and its bear trap teeth grin at you. Its eyes are red, even though you do surprise it.
Iblis didn't follow behind.
Roll
He-
initiative. Yeah.
He actually ducked back into the door behind the door frame. You're on your own.
Alamandros, you get the surprise attack and you go first.
Alright. Long swords out.
The surprise makes it even more hungry for combat. It's like gleefully surprised.
Yeah, he just runs at it and he's like almost like a. It's not a graceful run, you know. He's got this fucking plate, and he just hacks at it and cleaves it in the shoulder, you know.
Just sliced in half. As that howl goes out, though, you rouse the ears of the goblin senses. In the silent town, the scream is heard loud, and out of these farms, these fucking goblin archers come around the bend. But it's Alamandros' turn still first.
Yeah, and he finishes up there. He just runs through and hacks at the one and then just keeps going up the stairs. And that's where he ends up.
You look in and it's just basically one of the bedrooms of the tavern. You can see a huge light beam shining in through the broken roof and smash through the floor below you. You kind of look down a bit and see this huge rock stone that's been thrown through this building. But other than that, that's all you can kind of see from where you're at.
I would imagine Alamandros with his dealings with giants before. You know, maybe he's just, holy shit. Giants.
Iblis.
Yeah, Iblis was back at the door of the tavern where he had just, Alamandros just ran out, and Iblis stayed at the door to kind of watch and see what happened. So I feel like he had good perspective on the two archers kind of jumping on the scene. Iblis is he's just gonna reach his hand out and cast Eldritch Blast. Just a streak of this purplish lightning just comes flying out from the door of the temple and smokes that fucking goblin.
Yeah, the goblin archer just takes a heavy hit and drops to one knee, but still can have a chance to release an arrow, which it does. Right at... You're out here, right?
No, I've been using the door as half cover. He's not. He was standing kind of with his shoulder to the door, was kind of looking out as he ran out and was just keeping an eye on what was going on, seeing the dude, and then shot out.
Not one. Arrow just basically just snaps and crumbles within the bow. It was just made out of this shitty, goblin manufactured wood that is really horrible. And so the whole thing just crumbs beneath him and he's just there. Stunned. But the other guy, shoots at this tree guy. The goblin behind the cart fires a shot. 12.
14. Just I feel like the arrow thuds into his wooden shield, and the arrowhead punctures through like close to his face. Yeah, so the arrow flies through his shield, and he just sprints up the stairs and tries to just, if there's a door, like dive into the house.
Yeah, you dive into the room.
If there's an open window that he could somehow attack out of, he's underneath the window, crouched down.
You look back, and they're kind of hunched behind the bed, crossbow drawn. It's this woman just like aiming right at you.
There's goblins outside, just trying to hide.
Oh, I know there's goblins here. Get your head down, for fuck's sakes.
He just crouches low underneath the windowsill.
Yeah, sure. She's just there with you.
So he's like, oh, okay, he's taking care of the voice I heard calling out as well. And he's like, Jesus, giants are involved. So people are shooting. Yeah. Alright, so athletics check or...
Yeah, make an athletics check first, for sure. With his armor on?
Yeah, it's, oh my god. It's, like 8. It's just,
So it's a clumsy drop,
Right.
but yeah, you can take a swing.
14.
Ooh. Sword just clanks the stone beside the archer. He just turns and grins a mere drap tooth smile. Black ooze out between his teeth.
Blast!
Iblis is still kind of standing just inside the temple door. He's kind of back to the windowsill. He had shot that Eldritch Blast last time, and he kind of takes another peek out and sees the guy there struggling with his bow, right?
No, his
Busted.
arrow
Oh.
busted in the bow, yeah.
Yeah, either way, see him standing there out in the open, struggling with his shit. Iblis kind of squats down like where he is, just kind of keeping cover, but he pulls out from behind his back his own light crossbow. He takes aim at the fucking goblin. He still hasn't come out of the temple, like he's shooting from like inside the doorway. 10 to hit.
Arrow flies, but just dodges out of its way. You rustle some leaves off the tree branch. This guy goes for a shot. 10.
Kind of peeking out the door frame, and the arrow like plugs right beside my face or something like that. It's like, oh fuck. He just ducks back behind the door frame.
The other archer that was dropped on, just narrowly missed by the blade of Alamandros, looks over and says in common, "Foolish human, come to the wrong place," and throws his bow down and lunges at you with a dagger, just going right for your throat. Fuck. Tell me how you just beat the shit out of him from ever touching you.
And he just like bounces off the armor. You know, he comes in and it's just like, and he falls to the ground.
And he's gonna take some bludgeoning damage from that.
Yeah, right to the nose, busted nose. Not through this armor.
Yeah, after that armor, yeah. Tree root.
So he comes over and he says, "Hi, so I'm Leafroot Branch Tree. I came up with my own name. My friends are gonna deal with the goblins. You got nothing to worry about, I think. Have you looked out there?"
Her arm sort of like releases tension from the crossbow that she was holding, and she looks at you and just says, "Oh, thank God you've come. It was horrible. It's just been horrible. We need to get out of here as fast as we can." You see that she is sort of wearing these cloth robes that are white. And you also notice, though, coiled around her arm is this snake.
Man, you used to live here?
Live here? No, I'm traveling. I am working for a monastery and got trapped in this town. Boulders from the sky dropped all over this place. I just hid in here. A falling rock hit me and I passed out. I woke up and the goblins were in the town. It's the last thing I shot one in the fucking floor downstairs. Got one good.
You said the boulders came from the sky?
Yes.
I just thought that's because how this town was. Oh, I didn't. Okay.
I can't
I
believe
just
how.
thought this place is a real trashy place. I just thought this was their look, but.
I can't believe you can be such a dunce. Do you not know the rampaging cloud giants in this region? Their floating castles hover above. They came and started dropping huge boulders crushing the citizens.
Oh my god.
I'm lucky to be alive. We gotta get out of here.
Yeah, my friends are taking care of it.
Well, let's hope so.
So Alamandro, yeah, he just wants to stab this thing through. I've had enough out of you. 12.
Still rattled a little bit from that fall. You're not as young as you used to be. And
Takes a stab at it and then he just feels suddenly inspired. 14 damage.
he's lurking towards you savagely, but you just end him.
You shot at my new friend, and I didn't enjoy that very much at all. And where's your fellow friend over here?
The goblin notices that he's flanked completely, is looking to run.
Iblis was holding the bow, like his own light crossbow, and he had taken that shot, and another one came back and almost hit him, and I missed way wide, and so he's like, ah, fuck this thing, and he kind of drops it, but it's on a sling around him, so when he drops it, it just kind of slings back around behind his back, and then he just shoots another Eldritch Blast out at the goblin that he's been shooting at the whole time. Fucking misses, though. Misses huge. that was a 8. I guess just this fucking lightning arc just comes erratically shooting out of the temple and just hits something. But it's force damage, so it's not really like lightning.
Right, so you can see just the scrambling feet of the goblin limping back. It's staying heavy wounds. It's just dragging, leaking a trail of blood behind it as it kind of tries to run away. Tree beer. Fuck, I can't get it right.
That's my turn.
Tree balls.
Seems like they're almost done. I'm gonna go help my friends. And he just like hops back out the window.
She just watches you go, re-straights her crossbow.
He'll probably come out when we're done. He runs down.
Okay, let me know when you're done with it.
Runs behind the wheel of the cart.
Alamandro, he looks around to give his sword to Pugly, and he's like, oh, Pugly's not even here. And he just kind of drops it on the ground because he doesn't even have a sheath. Pugly's got that shit. Pulls up his bow, and takes a shot.
I'd say he's sort of like in half cover through all the rough stuff. The rough stuff.
Yeah, it's super duper miss.
It was whizzing through the trees.
And he just kind of moves along. He picks up his sword though.
Yeah, so I guess when that goblin started taking off, it sticks his head out the door of the temple and kind of looks around to see if you can, because like there's the alleyway kind of to the left when I look out, right? So do I see anything else down that way?
Directly next to the temple is the Nander crypt, where all like the nobles of Nander are buried. But down the way you just kind of see the watchtower in front of you.
So then basically I'm just gonna run right up behind Tree Root. Hey, what's going on? Where's he going? Pointing to Alamandros. Is he chasing the goblin?
I think so.
Cool.
I think so. Just hiding behind this wheel.
Alright, man. Well, I need to catch my breath. That was a long run. I sprinted here, I guess.
You're pretty quick.
Okay, so as this goblin sort of runs away limping from his damage to the field, he's just like calling out goblin. You know he must be saying help. Help, because like busting out of this other like farm, these two guys like leap the fences, like start piling over. Their dark green skin and red eyes are peering at you like ready to attack.
My breathing starts like picking up and he seems to get pretty anxious about the situation. And as that happens, the branches from his arm unfurl and crawl up his spear, and he casts Chalet. I don't know how you pronounce it, but I'm still gonna just hang back here behind this wheel.
No worries, man. You do what you gotta do. That knight's a big boy. He can handle himself.
So yeah, he's like running through Alamandros. He just comes like, he's like still running like full tilt in the armor, you know, and once you get a momentum going, right, he like bounces off this through the tree, smashes through this fucking head, and he just gleaming, dented, rusty steel, a long sword in hand with shield.
Iblis turns to the Tree Root and he's just like, see? Told you he can handle himself.
Like a crazy beast.
That hits.
You're not far off.
16?
16 damage?
Yeah. 16 damage. Motherfucker.
Yeah, you just destroy one.
In the shoulder.
I was just screaming in pain. Horror.
Yeah, it was a clean wound. Clean into the thing. He's just spurting like quickly, unleashes, prepares for the next.
I feel like from where Iblis is hiding behind the wagon wheel with Tree Root, just see you like run through the bush, just go around a corner, and then all of a sudden just a spray of blood comes back into view. Like we don't see what actually happens. You just run around the corner, all of a sudden just some blood comes squirting out. I think he's probably got it, but I don't know. That might have been him. So should probably go see if he's okay. I'm gonna move up. If there's a body-shaped hole through that hedge, or if it's like regrown back in, or what's the deal there? Do I have any kind of view at?
Yeah, I feel like you have a view at him.
Okay. So there's at least 2 more of these goblins, right? One with the spear and then the one that was running away. I'm gonna, from my angle, I think I can see the one with the spear standing just in front of Alamandros, and I'm gonna launch in some Eldritch Blast. Again, this crackling lightning beam comes forcing its way through, so it's kind of just like blasting leaves out of the way and stuff like that as it comes shooting through. 12.
No.
It doesn't hit, but also like Alamandros is standing there and there's trees around you, and just like out of the corner of your eye, 15 feet off the ground, you just see this kind of like lightning bolt just blasts a fucking branch apart.
I hope that's on my side.
Yeah, so this goblin comes prowling from right next to Alamandros, just goes for a swing.
Oh, you're looking for some of this, are you? Could have run.
An 8. Just slings off the armor. Goblin's just stunned. And the other goblin, though, is on his last legs and just trying to shoot his bow here at you. He's like kind of still running, but then shoots. No. Arrow goes whizzing by Alamandros as he's storming in.
Shield.
Just-
in hand. He's got like mini. What do you call it? Like a tower shield. You know what a tower shield, right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
square,
yeah.
but it's like medium size.
Right.
Long sword in hand. And it's not my turn.
Yeah, good catch.
Well, all this is wait a second.
This feels too good. This can't be true.
So, can we see through the bushes?
Yeah.
There's an Alamandros sized hole through those bushes.
Yeah.
Guarantee it.
So-
It's like a freight train of plate steel.
Almost like he's hunting a deer. He perks up and like focuses on that goblin, and as he's sprinting, he pulls that spear back and he just launches it towards the goblin behind the tree there. Through the bushes. 7. So his spear just flies by the goblin, buries itself into the tree.
It's like one of your wooden
It's-
vine
yeah.
covered, just like flinging past Alamandros.
No, the vines almost rip off it as it flies out of my hand. Like it loses that quality, and it's just a wooden spear stuck into the bushes.
Does Alamandros notice? These guys seem like they're under control. Are they? He's been fighting them for a little while now, and he sees they. Oh, look at this red glowy thing.
Make an insight check.
9.
Yeah. At its root, you just know that these are sort of feral goblins, and this is how they act.
It's just like these red eyes seem unfamiliar to me, but I don't know if I'm sure about it. As he's stabbing in there, you know,
Yeah, that hits.
trying to hit this guy, and he hits him for fucking 18. He's got a shield, and he just comes in and stabs him through the back as he goes.
Yeah.
What about you? Is there anything special about you? I feel like there's something about you guys.
Iblis is going to, just from where he's standing when he missed that first Eldritch shot, he just kind of slows down and takes a breath. He's like, alright, let's try this again. Windmills his arm up and then throws this Eldritch Blast out there at the fucking goblin that's right in front of Alamandros. There we go, that's a 20. Non-nat. Alright. Fuck. 2.
Blasts him, hits him in the back, burns through his black leather armor. Still just tries to take a swing at Alamandros that's right in front of him.
Man, I gotta work on those.
That's you.
Not 20! The blade sinks in through that weathered armor. 11 damage.
Yikes.
My goodness. Where's that hit, Alamandros?
Just came in and found a groove somewhere. Sliced between the
What was
armor.
it? I get double 11.
Well, that's a good roll.
Yeah.
No shit. Alright. He's still standing. He takes one in the leg. It just like big sweeping one. Just clanks him in the leg and like buckles him. Still got a shield. You kind of fucking. Oh, he took a hit for a hefty one.
Iblis can see all this happening. It's just like, oh, Jesus.
Yeah, you know
Doesn't
he's
look
fucking,
good.
he's like kind of one-kneed it, still trying to get up, and it's like he doesn't look happy about that at all.
Just slowly, timidly steps out of the bushes, but as he does, again, the vines kind of collect on his hand and coil out into this like long coiled thorn. Fucking whips it out at the goblin close to him, just from his arm. It's not even attached to his spear at this point. I'm gonna use my inspiration. 20-something. 1 damage. It grabs onto him. The tiny thorns in this rope just like dig in, and it, as he yanks back again, it snaps, but it pulls him 10 feet forward.
So it just comes right towards you.
Is that an opportunity attack?
I I'd say so. So he's being pulled and losing his balance, just tripping on his own feet, and from behind him,
14.
just misses. Just falls to the ground, the blade swings over the top of his back. Yeah.
Come back here. He just takes a swing at him. 20.
Oh, man. Oh, it's not feeling good.
It's 14, 18 damage.
Yeah, so it is obliterated with your assault.
Just like slices him in half, and he's just like, oof. I think whatever the red eyes thing is making their bodies gooier. They just come apart like nothing. I've never seen them come apart like that before.
Dude, you're like a beast.
Yeah, their black ooze is just like pouring all over the fucking crops of this farmer's field.
You were like a bear out there.
It's quite a compliment. Thank
It
you.
is definitely a compliment. You're tough as fuck.
I just try to swing my sword like the rest of them do. The minute I'm trained. Well, I think when we work together, we can all learn to smash goblins.
Yeah, you show me how to use that spear, and speaking of my spear, he runs over and pulls it out of the tree.
It was just gonna slowly come walking towards them, but he wants to check out, what was this house again?
That cottage backs onto this field that you guys are on. But the house has been destroyed by a rock too. Like it's partially collapsed. And you ran by this building and you know that it's the trading shop. The Lion Shield Coster.
From this angle, do we see if it has any fucking rocks through the ceiling or anything? Giant boulders blowing out half the outside walls or anything like that?
It's like it's undamaged.
What is it, Lion Shield Coster?
Yeah.
It's like a franchise, right? Like they're
Right.
all over the place, right?
A merchant's trading shop, yeah.
Yeah. Is gonna come moving up to where Tree Root is. Okay, looks like this is a Lion Shield Coster. I've seen these before in other towns. We should maybe check this place out, get some provisions. I see that blank stare, and it's a place where you can get food and stuff.
Oh.
Yeah,
So
there
you can
it'll.
trade even, and get stuff.
Yes, exactly. Maybe you can give it some of your tit berries and
Oh.
get other things in return.
Yeah, don't forget, if you're not feeling good, you take one of those.
It was surprisingly tasty, but I'm feeling confused now.
Hey, do you still got your berries?
Well, I haven't eaten them yet.
Maybe you want mine
I
too.
kind of wanted to see Iblis eat his first.
I already ate them when I gave ate them as soon as he gave them to me. I'm still here, I guess. So I don't know.
I'll definitely try mine.
I don't think-
He definitely eats more of them.
And then he runs over and he says, I've got 2 more still growing on me, so pluck them off.
But I was
And
just
he
saying to him as well. We should check out this Lion Shield
That's
Coster.
sick.
Well, he definitely used something. No sign of any other goblins.
Then I hear
Looking
I
around.
don't see anything. Or is there?
If you're looking into the trading shop, you do see one like rummaging in there.
From
Yeah,
our
exactly.
side, is there a door or a window or anything?
Yeah,
Like-
like there's a back door and window.
okay. Looks like there's one in there.
Well, I think we need to keep taking them out.
I agree. I 100% agree.
Okay. I'm not a stealthy one, as you've noticed.
Well,
How do you want to go about this? I don't think I can smash through the wall.
Let me try take a shot at him. And he reloads his, or I'm reloading my light crossbow. If I get this right, just one shot. But yeah, like if possible, I'm shooting. Like if I can see him through the window, I want to try and shoot him through the window.
Okay, yeah. He's rummaging through all the wares, there's broken pots, and all the different things that the store was selling just scattered throughout the floor, and he's just stuffing them into a bag.
Yes, are you ready?
Yeah.
Are you ready?
What are we doing?
right when you say what are we doing, he fucking looses there.
Yeah. It's perfect. Because the
Oh yeah, that's 24.
Yeah, that hits.
10.
Arrow just hits him in the back of the head and he drops dead. Contents of his pouch just spill on the floor.
Ideally, I was kind of picturing it too. Like it didn't even shatter the window; it just like carved a little hole. It was just like
Yeah.
it might be fractured a little bit, but it didn't actually break the
Yeah.
whole window.
that was amazing.
It's, you pick up a few skills when you're on the road.
Well, I've been on the road for some time. I'm not sure if my skills match that. Although I can hit things pretty hard sometimes.
Let's go check out what these goblins have left behind. Looks like they may have beat us to it.
Where the hell is Tree? Oh, there you are.
He's just in awe. He's just like, there's so much stuff in here.
Yes, this is what cities are like. It's quieter out in the countryside.
So yeah, so we're moving into the back door of the...
Yeah, okay, so you get inside and you sort of see at the building's entrance is a circular blue shield emblazoned with a stylized golden lion, the symbol of the Lion Show Coster, a trading company. Basically inside there's just a random assortment of stuff that you would find in a merchant shop, like adventuring gear. So if you guys all roll a d4, you can pick up something from adventuring gear that's under 10 gold pieces.
Is there a shopkeep here, or are we buying this shit? Or
No,
like
it's-
just, there's no,
It's like it's been pillaged, and you're just finding d4 items under 10 gold pieces if you want them
Yeah,
from the adventuring
We got a
gear.
4.
as Bill just is rooting around, I guess he's looking at all the different things and sees just a whole barrel full of just those caltrops, like that you drop on the ground, the spikes. So he sees that, takes a bag of 20 caltrops.
Okay.
Because I unfortunately rolled like shit and only get to take one thing.
Oh, yeah, I rolled a 4. So yeah, it was things under 10. So Alamandros grabbed a grappling hook, an oil flask, and the clothes of the traveler.
Oh wow.
It's like, ooh, new clothes, fresh clothes.
Smell
Sneaking that into
nice.
stuff.
Yeah, that
Puppy,
new
I'm
clothes
tucking them in
smell.
my old puppy's got another change. If you want to know about Alamandros' fucking wardrobe, it's
Sure. Tell us anytime.
That's if your slave's still alive. We haven't seen him in like, it feels like forever.
Make a little perception check. Let's see if maybe he's around. Like you're inside the building, kind of just peeking out a window, or you look left, you look right down the street, and again, you don't hear anything or see anything.
I'm sure they're waiting outside the walls.
While we're in the Lion Show Coster, though, Biblis wants to just investigate around there if there's any papers and stuff, basically looking for any indication of rare items or weapons.
No, it's just really a standard shop.
Yeah, guys, I came prepared, so I think I'm good. I take some of this, and he just holds up fishing tackle.
Well, what's the building across the street from the Lion Show Coster, like that stone-looking one?
Alamandros would know it's the Dyfrendels, a human family that owned and operated the windmill. That's their house.
Iblis is like, so should we just like be booking it to your lady, or?
Well, the bridge seems to be out. I'm not sure I'm gonna be able to make that jump. I'm gonna have to find a way. Gosh, I'm pretty sure she's in there.
I mean, you don't know of like a back door that you used to sneak in?
Does Alamandros know of a back door?
Yeah, roll a history check here.
4.
As far as you know, it looks how it looks, which is pretty impregnable, except for the bridge that goes over the moat. Since that's destroyed, it almost feels like you could maybe make the jump.
Yeah, can we tell how far it is?
Yeah, it's like a 10-foot jump to get to the next ledge and get to the doors that are shut right now. You look up, you see the high towers of this like stony keep. Just besides the pennants that are just waving in the wind, seems to be no activity.
Maybe if we climb one of these watchtowers, we might be able to get a better vantage point and see at least some way to maybe get in there.
That's a fine idea, Nicholas. I'm right there with you.
So we should maybe go to the windmill. Looks like the best vantage point.
Fine.
Get the lay of the land. Or maybe we'll see your slave.
Squire.
Right. Yes.